everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a spiritual, psychological, emotional, and coaching related variety. We talk about concepts that can help you get the most out of your everyday life. It can be extremely helpful for people that are trying to reach certain professional, personal, or life related goals to have coaching. If you are interested in coaching, would love to be of service to you. There's a couple things you can do. You can reach out on this About Me in the About Me section of this YouTube channel, or you can reach out on Twitter at PO Perception. Either one will get you to either me or a member of my team, and we can go from there. This particular audio, though, is relatively useful. It is about kind of signs that you're about to go through a bad mental health spell or some sort of psychological or emotional break. It happens to a lot more people than realize. Some people say as much as 40% of people will have a psychological breakdown at some point in their life. This is because we take on a whole lot more than we should in daily living. So what are some signs that you may be headed for that break? The first is if you're always worried, always in a fight or flight, reality. If you're always in a place of worry, then the chances that you will have some form of, psychological breakdown at some point is there. Now, worry is useful, and it's a self-protection tool that has been with humanity from the beginning of time. Worry is a necessary part of self-protection and self-survival and sustainability. However, a constant state of worry is neither mentally and emotionally healthy nor sustainable in the long run. This is because when you are in a fight or flight syndrome, you're creating certain levels of hormones in the body, including cortisol and other stress-related hormones, which, when placed into a vacuum where that's the majority of your emotional experience, you will eventually get to a place where your body doesn't respond properly to negative, reality or negative circumstances. Reacting positively means looking at the idea of finding good, healthy spaces and all of that. The next thing to consider is if you're always guilty. Now, guilt is necessary because we should, or we can often feel as though it is a good idea to care about how we affect other people, and certainly it is. However, the challenge in guilt is the antidote to guilt is forgiveness. The antidote to guilt is self-forgiveness. When a person does not forgive themselves or receive forgiveness from others where it can be offered, preoccupation with that, there are challenges as it relates to going forward with kind of living a healthy, happy, balanced life. One cannot live a healthy, happy, balanced life when getting to a place of the need for recalibration, which is the next thing. When you can't recalibrate or realign for your highest good, when your heart, mind and spirit or sense of consciousness and self are not aligned with each other, you can't make progress. And so when you're metaphorically circling the drain or feeling as though you're not making any progress or running backwards on a treadmill, you will begin to burn out. This is obviously a negative thing, both in the long and short run of things. It doesn't necessarily mean you can't recover, but it does mean at the end of the day that you are going to have a much more difficult time with daily tasks because you can't find your own balance. Self-isolation is another form of a sign that bad mental health break is coming, because self-isolation is a form of self-punishment. It's also a sign that you don't feel you can cope with people and or the situation, explaining the situation that is your life on a continual basis. When you fear judgment to the point where you can't explain how you feel, you ultimately will self-isolate. Now, periods of self-isolation for the purpose of self-reflection can be helpful, but when they extend several months or weeks on end, there are problems. The last two are more dark and somewhat sinister. The first is drug and substance abuse related issues or addictive behaviors. A person who is going through a period of time where they may have a psychological break is more likely to use mood altering substances, illicit or illegal drugs, alcohol, or other forms of addictive and risky behaviors to cope with their inability to stop feeling negative. And so, what begins to happen is a person then begins to see themselves as incapable of having positive emotions without these substances and or these mechanisms. The final situation that obviously one wants to avoid is suicidal ideation and or acting on suicidal ideation. Obviously, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary challenge. Life is constantly changing, both positively, negatively, and neutrally. Therefore, change is one constant that we can all agree to and count upon. But when a person doesn't see that things will change in a direction that they want things to go, the idea of suicide, thus ending one's life, and the pain and suffering related to um, whatever circumstances they are facing, becomes a preoccupation. Obviously, if you know someone or you yourself are struggling with suicidal ideation, it is imperative that you receive help from a team of people that can help you see things differently. So, hopefully, this is helpful. I encourage you to reach out if there's anything I can do to be of service. But until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.